Testing. Testing.
Testing.
Is it on a roll or is it rolling?
It's rolling.
What's up, Maegan?
Nothing much. What's up with you?
It seems like a year since we last recorded, and it was like a week ago.
It was a week.
Was it 2 weeks ago?
It was a week ago.
A week ago Sunday?
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like...
Why does it seem like it was so long ago?
It feels like it was so long ago. This has been the longest week ever.
What happened?
What happened? What happened? A lot of things.
Oh, that clears that up. Well, I went on a date with Mom. We got away for the weekend.
We actually just recorded this. but he made us delete it because he talked about how much money he spent.
Yeah, we splurged this weekend. It's our 26th anniversary.
Woo,
How old are
that's
you,
amazing.
Maegan?
I'm 24. Yeah, 24, almost 25.
So you'll be 25 in December?
In November.
November. Oh, November. That's right.
He never remembers my birthday.
Oh, it's November 25th. I was thinking December because I always work backwards from Christmas.
He
Christmas
doesn't do
is
this.
Yes, how do you know what I do or don't do in my head?
Because last time you didn't remember my birthday either. I asked you.
What?
And you were like, you knew the month, but you were like, it's November 26th.
No, I do. So I start with Christmas, and then I work back from that because your birthday is 1 month before Christmas.
No, he's backpedaling so hard.
Well, we'll let the audience believe what they want to believe, as long as you believe me. Okay, so wait, how did we get on the topic of your birthday? Oh, because I said that we'd been married 26 years. Mm-hmm. And so we'd been married, about a year and a half when you were born? No. Wait, you were born on November, so it's just a little bit over a year.
Yeah.
Wow.
So crazy.
That is crazy. Like, you're a fully formed adult now.
If you do the math, there was only it was 3 months after you got married that you got pregnant.
Oh, I would like to do that math. Let's do that math. And I'm so glad that happened because we have you, Maegan.
Thank you. That means a lot.
So, let's see. Well, welcome to this podcast. What is this podcast?
The Self-Help Hangover by Maegan and Kirk Richards. And we're talking about the book You Are a Badass by by Jen Sincero. And what chapter are we on? 12? I think?
We're on chapter 12. We'll get into chapter 12 in a second. Before that, we actually did record a second Patreon episode. So you can go to our Patreon. You can find it in the link tree in our Instagram account, which is at Self-Help Hangover.
Yeah.
And you go to that profile. You'll find a link tree link. Go there, and then there will be a link to the Patreon. You can subscribe for bonus episodes. And I think you can buy the bonus episodes individually if that's your preference. Our bonus episode this time is talking to Maegan's little sister, Kate, about this book. This book, You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero, that made her feel like she could accomplish anything. And then how our podcast made her feel after that, right? So we just want to make sure that we're not doing damage to
everybody.
Everybody, and especially Kate. We love you, Kate.
Yeah, we do love you.
And we want you to feel like you can do anything. right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's that. We also have advertisers. We're grateful for our advertisers. The last advertiser spent $6.
$6, yeah. And we double it
And
every time.
so if you want us to advertise for you on our podcast, you can send us $12 because we are doubling our fee.
Yeah, our first one was $3, then $6, now $12.
Yeah, let us know if you have an advertisement you want us to put on. We are, as of this moment, dedicated to remaining independent. So don't try to bully us into changing our views in order for your advertisements to be, in order for our podcast to be more palatable to your audience that you're selling to. If you're an advertiser, do you know what I'm saying?
No.
Like somebody might say, "Here's $12, but I want you to stop being critical of
I see.
my kind of business." Right?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense for sure.
That's not likely to happen at $12, but maybe at 24. I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows?
Let's see. What else do we need to say? If you want to rate, review, and subscribe, fine. Just don't be mean to us. And then what else? If you want to add our Instagram account, Maegan will follow you back.
I will follow you back. Although, sorry, I seriously have not been on Instagram for like a little while. So I'm so sorry. I'm going to go on tonight.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I've been very bad I've just been so busy. But I follow everybody back. If I am not following you, then message me and I will follow you because sometimes, like I said, sometimes I just get bad at going on. So let me know.
Great. Yeah. And also, I didn't release an episode last week. Sorry, got busy. And it was like a day after the editing was finished. And so I just anyway, we're doing our best to regularly record and post episodes. And just know that this is like 10th on our list of priorities. So
it is fun though. We do like doing it,
worth.
but sorry, we're not. Sometimes we don't come out with them, but
we've got one locked and loaded, and we're about to load some more, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
absolutely.
This one, so we might as well jump in, right?
Yeah.
To chapter 12, to jumper 12. We're gonna jump into chapter 12. Lead with your crotch.
Yeah.
Now, without knowing what this chapter is about, what would that title make you think it's about?
It's like when they say that people think like with their penis instead of their brain.
Okay, yeah, that's it kind of insinuates that, right?
Yeah.
Like let your sex drive lead you forward.
Lead the way.
In fact, I almost thought that it could be like Napoleon Hill's
sex transmutation.
chapter on sex transmutation, which I believe is still our highest listened to chapter. Look, we're trying to keep this semi-clean, but we have perverse motivation to talk about sex, or at least put it in the title. We will talk about
sex if we have to.
Because more people listen to it, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't blame us.
Anyway. Supply and demand.
That's right. Lead with your crotch. Okay. Turns out, spoiler, crotch is
her band.
The name of her band.
She had a band named Crotch.
Yeah. And when I tried to look it up to see photos of the band, I think there were like 5 different bands named Crotch or something.
Really? Wow.
It's not really a good idea to name your band the same as another band.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened there, if she was the first. But all that to say, I wish that when I Googled crotch, it would just be Jen Sincero's band that popped up. Not just crotch. Brian's laughing. If I Googled crotch band, the Just Jen Sincero's band would pop up.
Yeah.
But no, there were others as well. Anyway.
So did you find a picture?
Yeah, there were a couple.
Okay.
There wasn't like a major internet presence, which surprised me a little bit based on all the things she says that her band did. I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I just thought that there would be more of a internet trail.
Yeah.
Anyway, the quote at the beginning of the chapter is by Shunryu Suzuki, Japanese Zen monk. Quote, "In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, but in the expert's, there are few."
Huh. That's interesting. Wait, so in the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities?
Yeah.
And in the expert's mind, there are few.
Yeah.
I don't know what
You
to
read
think of
this,
that.
right, Megan?
Yes, I did. Well, I listened to it, yeah.
Okay.
And honestly, I don't think, or wait, I'm trying to, well, never mind. But yeah, I did listen to this. Yep.
What do you think it means, or what's your gut response, or what do you think about this quote?
It's weird because I would think it would be the other way around, maybe. I'm not really sure what to make of that.
Why do you think it would be the other way around?
Because, especially with self-help books like these, I feel like the message is always that there are millions of options for success and not to limit yourself.
But I think that she would agree with that, and she would say that's why we need self-help books, is because people get older, they get jaded by life and life's failures, and doors that have been closed, gates that have been kept that have kept them out, and therefore an expert has narrowed those doors down into very few possibilities.
Oh, okay.
And beginners haven't narrowed them down yet.
Okay. I see that. I can see where that's coming from.
So do you agree with her?
Yeah.
Or agree with,
yeah, I
it's
do.
not even
It just
her,
feels,
it's
I don't know
a quote
why.
she chose.
That was hard for me to but yeah, I agree with that.
I can see that because, okay, I'm just going to, I didn't want to start talking as an expert, but just looking back on, 25 years of making art, going on 30 years, there are ways that I've seen that have worked, that have gotten me where I've gotten, and it's kind of like a single path, right? I've only been able to really experience fully the path that I've taken, and I have had failures, and so it might seem like those paths are closed or not viable options where I met with failure, and yet they weren't failures before I did them, right?
Yeah.
They were possibilities back then.
Yeah.
So, so I probably had a more open mind, although less of a fully formed picture of what the possibilities were back then. So I agree. I think it's a great quote, but I see your point that an expert isn't necessarily closed off to all those other paths they didn't take, even if they met with failure on those paths.
Yeah.
I love to see people come up behind me and succeed where I failed,
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe that quote is not as applicable as it might seem. But I don't know, just as a truism, it seems lovely. I like the sound of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I just don't feel like I've ever been, like, I guess maybe an expert at something yet, but so maybe I just don't have a lot to say about that. But
So do you feel like there are many possibilities?
yeah,
for
I
you?
do. For sure.
Excellent. That's good. All right. So she gets to talking about how we get jaded by failures and stuff. And I just want to read this because I think it's an example of how she likes talking down to people. Okay. Quote, which is why I find it so odd to hear. Okay, I'll just read this whole paragraph. Quote, but I also remember diving into my creative pursuits with the same reckless obliviousness and, as a result, getting utterly spectacular and thrilling results. Which is why I find it so odd to hear people say, quote, if I knew then what I know now, I'm not sure I would have done it. Unquote, end quote. Well, I'm end quoting the internal end quote, not the final end quote. Well, thank God you didn't know if that's your stinko attitude. You'd be sitting next to a pile of empty beer cans whining about how you missed out on going for your dreams if you did.
Yeah, when I was listening to this,
Unquote. End
sorry.
quote.
Okay.
End
Sorry.
quote. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Maegan.
I really disagree with this just because I just regret a lot of things I did when I was younger, and I appreciate having a better sense of what's the word? I don't know. I just appreciate the changes that have come with growing up and the knowledge that comes with that. So I don't really agree with her on this part, to be honest. I'm grateful for not thinking the same way I did when I was 19 or 18.
Okay, let me see if I understand what you're saying. You are saying that she is talking down to people who
are like reckless and just like don't have, like when you're a teenager and you're overly confident and you just think you can do anything. And I think that is the worst time of life to make any decisions. To be honest.
Yeah. So she was talking about how she did some pretty crazy stuff that she regrets, but also she doesn't regret being reckless with the stuff that she like her daring to dream and go after stuff, because some of that stuff happened, and you should also not worry about being reckless in those things, because otherwise you're going to fail and your stinko attitude will have you drinking beer on the couch for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that just really does not ring true to me. I don't think that success has anything to do with like throwing caution to the wind and like being, obviously I think bravery has to do with success and not caring what people think, but I also I don't know, just rubs me the wrong way.
So are you saying you did reckless things when you were younger, Maegan?
I mean, nothing that reckless, but...
Can you just tell us all the details right
now? Well,
that was funny. The sun just went behind a cloud. It got really dark in here.
It did get
right
really
when
dark.
I asked you that question.
Oh.
So, yes. No, I appreciate your perspective there. When I was reading this, and we talked to Kate, and she said that we should even out the positive feedback versus the negative feedback. One of the things that I wrote in the margins in this chapter here was collect art. If I was less, well, let's just say, like, if I get my house paid off, I might try to do some things that I kind of put aside as not possible right now. Like, it'd be fun to go to Christie's in New York City and actually purchase something in one of those
Yeah.
auctions. Like maybe a George Rouault painting comes up for auction, a small thing that I could actually add to my collection. That would be super cool. So I want to give this chapter by Jen Sincero credit for making me think about that it might actually be possible for me to collect like art by a world-class artist
Yeah.
at Christie's or something.
I don't think there's anything wrong with dreaming big and doing things that maybe you'd be afraid to do. I think this advice is maybe good for a certain type of person that is not me. Like someone who's too cautious or like too overly cautious.
Okay.
Like maybe mom.
You don't think that you're overly cautious, but you think mom is?
I think I'm trying to be more cautious.
You're trying to be more cautious.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. And do you see that as a function of getting older or like seeing more clearly what your ultimate goals are and how you want to get there? Or...
I see it as a function of getting older and just life lessons. Like just wanting to be less careless, maybe.
So do you think you should have been less careless earlier, or do you just feel like there's a time and a season in your life?
I just feel like, I feel like, that's a good question. I think just right now, I've just been thinking a lot about being less careless with my life. I don't know. Sorry, that's not that specific.
Like carefree or I don't know. You've never not cared.
I've always cared, but like, I don't know. I feel like this is too vague with.
It's too vague?
Yeah, like I feel like we should like move on because not like in a bad way, but like
Maegan, I was just trying to get some inside scoop on your life.
Well,
And you just want me to move on?
Maybe I'm talking about like relationships and like a little bit money or something.
Okay.
And like money, yeah. Like I'm just trying to be more like less careless, purposeful, mindful.
What's the word?
Intentional.
Yeah, mindful, intentional.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that. Okay. All right. How about this? Let's move on. Oh, dang it. I was just about to get the secrets out of her, and then she asked me to...
There's not really any secret.
I'm just kidding. Okay, here we go. So, I just want your response to this chapter, or this paragraph. Quote, "For me, one of the most exciting and on-purpose times of my life was when I was the singer-guitarist in a band called Crotch. I used the terms, quote, singer, quote, guitarist, and quote, band, all very loosely because we in Crotch weren't concerned with things like learning to play our instruments or practicing or any of that snooty musicianship crap. We had bigger fish to fry, like talking in loud voices about our band and checking ourselves out in plate glass windows as we walked by with guitars strapped to our backs."
I think you guys did talk about this last time.
Did we?
Yeah.
What? No way. There's no way.
I'm pretty sure you did. Like I just remember her talking about not playing their instruments or whatever.
Wait, did we? No. What? There's no way.
Oh, did we? Did we?
Did we seriously?
Did we? Look, if we covered this already, and you're
We might
listening
have
to this
2
on
episodes
your free,
in your free time.
look, a whole week has gone by. We can't be expected to remember what we've already covered.
I swear we would remember though. There must have been something similar about instruments.
Could be. I do remember something about instruments.
I think we would have. Dang, I don't know. I don't know, Brian.
Just keep going. Maybe you'll have new insights.
Well, if you're listening to a second episode on this chapter,
Did I already
you are a
read this?
saint.
Anyway, if I already read this, I'm sorry. And Megan already gave me her response to this paragraph. I'm also sorry, but
It's just the
what do
exact
you
same
think? What do you
thing.
think? And what do you think, Brian? Did you already respond to this, Brian?
I don't respond to anything.
I think it's hard to tell how serious she's being, but she's funny. Yeah, I think she makes a big point to show how much she doesn't care about societal expectations, and she just does whatever she wants without caring.
Okay, so here, jumping ahead a few chapters, she says, in spite of ourselves, we quickly acquired the following. In less than a year's time, In spite of ourselves, we quickly acquired quite the following. In less than a year's time, we also wrote, produced, directed, and starred in a film about the record industry, wrote, directed, and starred in a music video that got on national television, recorded an EP, got a demo deal with Columbia Records, and even learned a couple more chords. And we did it with full-time corporate jobs and no idea what we were doing. It was fun with a capital F. Sorry, my bad eyesight. I thought it was E with the period. I'm like, fun with a capital E? Is that a reference to something I forgot about? Okay, so what do you think about that?
So that's super interesting. So I see why you thought there would be more internet presence of her band online, because she makes it seem like a pretty big deal. But I think her main point here is that she kind of jumped into something without knowing anything, like basically like chords or music or anything, and she was still able to do some really cool things. And so it's kind of like we kind of talked about Kate, but just being delusional can sometimes be a good thing for sure. Just jumping into something, even if you don't maybe have the credentials per se. I don't know. No, well, credentials, there's some things you need to have the credentials on, but this is something though that's a good message for someone like me, and I think anyone who has imposter syndrome for sure is like just letting yourself do something, even if you feel like maybe there's people more qualified or you're not like good enough.
Yeah, what was I listening to? Are you more than a... Is that Fall Out Boy?
Yeah, it is Fall Out Boy. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I listened to an episode of them on... Actually, just the guy that sings that song on oh gosh, Song Exploder. Great, that's a great podcast for people interested in music. They take apart songs and put them together piece by piece. So it shows how the songs developed, and you can hear
cool.
like the stems and stuff as they're developing them. That guy had never been a singer in a band, if I remember that episode correctly. When they recorded that, they had just done their first like debut EP or whatever with him as singer, but he had never been trained, and so it was basically they got this deal and he had to record, and he had very limited experience as a singer.
Wow.
I think there are lots of experiences where luck, talent, all of those things come together, timing, for people who don't have the expertise of musicianship that other people might have, and it goes someplace great, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And it's easy to spend your lifetime honing those skills and look down and criticize people who have success that don't have those skills.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can read music, but how many famous rock stars don't? You know, they mostly
music.
do things by ear.
Yeah.
So I can very much appreciate that. And I also think she is downplaying their own drive as a band.
Yeah.
I
She's
think
trying to make it seem like it was just effortless.
Yeah, or that they were careless.
Yeah.
But and that they were more concerned with like making things happen than they were with the quality of their product. That's possible. I just think it's downplayed.
Yeah, for sure.
And maybe overplayed where they got to, because I don't know. I just don't know enough about this. But what is a demo deal? What's a demo deal? We will listen to your demo. Please send us a demo.
Could be they're coming up with demos for other bands.
Does this mic pick you up?
Like
A little
Quietly,
bit.
okay.
Yeah, so I don't know enough about that to know what that is. But also, you can write, produce, direct, and star in a film. And that's unrelated. Right, well, that makes her point, really, which is it was just us doing stuff, right? And we did stuff. Whether or not the gatekeepers let us in, it looks like maybe they got their toe in a gate. All that to say, yes, go after it. Now, do I think that if she was super successful as a musician, that she would be writing self-help books? I kind of doubt it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know her,
Yeah. We'll have to do an episode where we do the deep dive on her life, like we did with Napoleon Hill.
Let me just say, okay, let me read a paragraph, and then I'll give you what I wrote in the margin. If you've ever known what it's like to be in your groove and are having trouble finding your way right now, think back to your attitude and what your priorities were when you were totally lit up about life, and use them to help give you the clarity and kick in the rear end you need now.
That's interesting. That's so interesting. This makes me think of do you want to share yours
No,
first?
go ahead.
Okay.
Tell me what you think. I don't want to sully it.
Oh, no. Well, it just reminds me, every time that I'm on vacation, I always have some profound clarity on my life, like that I can do so much or something. And so every time I'm on vacation, I'm just like, oh my gosh, when I get home, I need to, I'm going to do all these things. And I'm just so excited and inspired. So, this makes me feel like I need to kind of go back into that mentality of how I felt in that moment and be like, wow, I can do anything.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that vacation, like those times when you're not in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
And you kind of get a bird's eye view. And you have time to think about the possibilities. It's so useful.
Yeah. It's one of the best
absolutely.
parts of vacation. It's thinking about everything I am going to do when I get back.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, well, what I wrote in the margin is I had to focus. So yes, when I was young, I was doing art, I was writing music, recording music, making music videos, working on film projects with friends, all this stuff. And starting a young family, right? And taking on a mortgage and trying to make it through the Great Recession and all that stuff. And so there were certain points during that journey where I did set aside some of those things as hobbies and needed to focus. So I focused on art. I raised my output from 20 paintings a year to over 100 paintings a year. Started making some things that were smaller, more affordable for people. And I brought on a studio assistant. And I stopped, largely stopped, or at least way scaled back the amount of time that I was spending working on musical projects and video projects and things like that. So, all that to say, I am, now that I'm 49 years old and things have I've established myself as an artist a little bit more, I can return to some of those things that I loved to do. And we just did a music recording. I did one with Brian, and I'm excited that that's coming out. So I do love this idea of remembering that energy that I had when I was younger.
Yeah.
And those interests, and cultivating some of those interests after I set them aside for a while, honestly. And it was probably the right thing or a good thing to do for me to focus for a while.
Well, you can't always do everything, unfortunately. Like at the same time. Is that related?
This is a point of, yes. No, I agree. But also I had to concede that point to Mom. I didn't want to concede that point for a long time. So, but I feel good about where we've come, and also that I can kind of reincorporate some of those interests into what I'm doing today.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
Hi, my name is Curtis Biggs. I'm a trombonist and a composer of contemporary art music, and I teach the low brass studio at Snow College in Utah. I just released a new album of all original music called Wind Meditations. In this album, I use the trombone in creative ways you have likely never heard before to create atmospheric soundscapes. You'll hear me divert the air out of an attached tube instead of the bell to create haunting, distant melodies. I play the bell section of the trombone without the slide attached to create the T-horn, sounding something like a cross between a French horn and euphonium. I use multiphonics, singing through the instrument while playing, in combination with the wah-wah mute to make a sound reminiscent of overtone singing. And in the title track, I use a combination of techniques, including circular breathing, playing a continuous drone while I sing a melody I heard in the wind while driving through Utah's Echo Canyon. Wind Meditations by Curtis Biggs is available on all streaming and download platforms, and is also available for download at curtistrombone.com. You can read more about all these pieces and find links to the album on my website as well. That's curtistrombone.com. You can also find me on Instagram and YouTube at Curtis Trombone. I'm a member of the American Composers Alliance, and my published scores are available at composers.com.
Okay, what we did talk about... Oh, I know what we... Well, maybe it was when we talked about... With Kate. Did we talk with Kate about the band?
Maybe. We talked about some
it's
stuff.
This chapter when she talks about just see what you can get away with.
That's... Okay, so that's chapter 13, right?
No, we're still in chapter 12.
Sorry. Oh, yeah, because we did talk about that. So maybe we did talk about the band with Kate. That could be what it was.
Could be. Well,
because I swear we didn't. Yeah.
We didn't think we got to this chapter. Just see what you can get away with is one of her mottos.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we talk about that with Kate, but for those who don't make it that far in the Patreon episode, what do you think about that, Maegan? I just want to see what I can get away with.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a cool mindset shift to kind of think about it that way. Obviously, we kind of talked about, like, as long as you're not hurting others or doing something against the law, but because it could certainly be taken that way.
So you don't want to see if you can get away with securities fraud or
Yeah.
Swindling people through a Ponzi scheme,
Yeah.
or something like that.
All the things that are happening in Utah right now.
You don't want to see if you can get away with, dumping toxic poisons into the stream. What happened? Did we already discuss this? Something happened recently. I think, was it Bull Evans just got sentenced? Or handed a guilty verdict? Basically,
I don't think we talked about it on the podcast.
One or two guys there were two guys at least, I think, from the AlphaCon conference that ended up getting, sentenced.
Getting sentenced. Aren't they, like, most of them are getting in trouble for something?
I don't know if we can say, you mean all the participants? Well, the guy that was put it together is the one that just got sentenced.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I know that there have been, there's been, what's the word? Just legal proceedings against, I think, up to 4 of them now.
Wow.
4 of the people associated with the
so crazy
AlphaCon. So that's not what we're talking about, or at least Jen doesn't put that here as a limit.
As a
but I think that what we would say, there is a limit to how far you should take that idea,
for sure.
right?
Yeah.
The law being one of them.
Yeah.
But also I think it helps to develop a certain sense of ethics that guides you even beyond the law. And sometimes what are the morals that are important to you, and how can you apply those to your approach to making a living? And that's not going to be the same for everybody. But hopefully you feel good about what you're doing and the way that you're operating in the world, right?
Yeah. I think it's kind of like we talked about with Napoleon Hill, but having an exchange, like a fair exchange of what you're offering to what you're receiving. And if you feel good about what you're giving people and it's a real, like, good thing, then I think that's amazing. And
that might be a good one of the major considerations when you're kind of figuring that out. Okay, just see what you want to get at. Yeah, so we talked about how this might be very helpful for someone like Kate.
Yes.
Who, spoiler, has some OCD and doesn't, maybe worried about putting herself out there.
Yeah.
Versus somebody who already approaches life with reckless abandon and doesn't care about the law. Right?
Yeah, there's definitely a type of person that I think this advice is super helpful for.
Yeah. Okay, so her second suggestion is lose track of time. And I think that's very useful. Like, what kinds of activities do you do where the time is suddenly gone, right?
Yeah.
And as an extension of that, when you have time, what do you find yourself doing? Like, what do you gravitate towards when you have spare time? Not that all of those things need to be monetized, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes that can be a clue to where your true interests lie and what you would be really good at if you pursued it as a career.
Yeah, it can help you find out what your passion is, for sure. Like, just what sort of things you like to do in your free time and what makes you be in that kind of flow state.
Yeah.
Like, I always feel that whenever I do a yoga class. I feel like the time goes by.
How about when you make art, Maegan?
I do, actually, but I don't think that I want to make it a career. But But yeah,
Yeah, for some people, it ruins the art to have that pressure of money making behind it and all that stuff. Okay, the third point is keep being the beginner. Once you learn how to play, you get all... she talks about how when you get good at something, you can become overly critical, and then it's not as fun anymore. The trick, she says, is to let the beginner live alongside the expert.
What was the thing you were talking about last time there was something you said that was pretty profound to me, and now I
said
can't...
something profound to you?
Well, yeah, it was about like...
Last time?
Oh, it was about like an artist, and like something about like how your art is never good enough, and so you're always like chasing your own like... No, you've got to know what I'm talking about. Like, it's like an artist, like your art is you're never happy with your mediocrity. And so you're always like chasing, you're never satisfied or something.
That our critical nature spurs us on to keep improving? Or
Maybe, but it was like a specific guy you were talking about. It was interesting. No, I need to go back and re-listen.
Let's just wait here until we both remember what it is.
It was so interesting. I'm so mad I can't remember.
How long have we been going, Brian?
44 minutes.
Oh, let's squeeze another chapter.
We spend way too much time.
This is a short chapter. Chapter 13. Give and let give. What do you remember this chapter? What do you think the basic message is?
Let give. Once you start talking about it, I'll remember it. I don't remember from the
It's
title.
mostly that. I'll just pick out a few phrases here. When we trust that we live in an abundant universe and allow ourselves to give freely, we raise our frequency, strengthen our faith, and feel awesome, thereby putting ourselves in flow and the position to receive abundant amounts in return. When we're in fear, we hold on to what we've got because we don't trust that there's more. We pinch off the energy we're scared to share, and we focus on and create more of the very thing we're hoping to avoid, which is lack.
That's interesting. Yeah. Okay. So I do. Yeah. So I remember this chapter. I'm a huge believer in giving things away or like helping people if you can. One of my ladies from Silver Sneakers, she always tells me that that's the key to a happy life is giving things to people whenever you can.
Is she the one that gave you her bike?
She is the one that gave me her bike. That's one of the things she said about it because I felt so guilty for taking it from her. And she told me that. She said, pass it on, or not pass the bike on, but like give it forward, you know?
Yeah, give it forward.
Yeah. I've never like...
I do think that, yeah, if we give, first of all, we're not focusing on our own problems, and but we also enlarge our circle, right? And that's not the reason to do it. But if we get to be really stingy, like so frugal that we don't give, that really can kind of close off our circle, and it is limiting. So I actually am really in agreement with what she's saying here. Maybe that equates to raise our frequency. That's the only really kind of frou-frou phrase in there that I think is putting ourselves in flow. You know, all that's kind of metaphysical, and
Yeah.
and maybe this is a metaphysical principle. I don't know what the science is around it, but I do think it can be as simple as connecting with people and enlarging the amount of connection that we have with the people around us.
Yeah. For sure.
Okay, then she talks about a friend of hers who has multiple sclerosis, and she was told by a mentor to give away 29 things for 29 days
yeah,
as
and
part of her cure.
it healed her, right? Or yeah, she gave away one thing a day, right? For 29 days.
Yes. I don't know about, does it say that it healed her? It says that by the 14th day she was feeling significantly better physically. Well, it does say that the mentor told her to do it as part of her cure. Now, it doesn't necessarily say
that it did
that
cure
she was
her.
healed completely.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that, but it does kind of insinuate that her health got better. I mean, it says outright that her health got better as she did this. And she went on to create a blog with tens of thousands of followers, which led to a New York Times best-selling book called 29 Gifts.
That's pretty cool.
Is cool. Megan's waiting for me to say
I'm just
that.
waiting for the...
No, there's not. No, it's super cool. Here's the thing. Like, these examples are very cool, and they're not repeatable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
I can't go do the same thing. If I had a malady, I wouldn't be able to do this and get a New York Times best-selling book offer. It's been done. Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I even tried that once.
Tried it?
Well, not this, but there was a guy who traded stuff. Traded up.
Yeah. It was like bigger or better.
Bigger, better kind of idea. And I think it was a guy. I don't think it was a girl. I can't remember. But they traded stuff up until they got a house.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And I thought, this is super cool. I'm going to try this. And I started with like a screw, just like what do you call that? A drywall screw.
Yeah.
And started trading up. And if I had pursued it long enough, I probably could have gotten to where I wanted. But I realized this is more work than earning the money. So
who did you trade?
I would post them on like the free classifieds on KSL classifieds. There's like a trade section.
Okay.
So I'd post there, and then I'd be driving up to Salt Lake to make this trade or whatever. And then I'd have to like hang on to whatever the object was, taking up space in the garage or whatever.
So what was the biggest thing?
Oh, well, I was trying to get like a movie studio, like film production equipment. And
okay.
Everything. And I can't remember what I got to, but I gave up. So that's on me. Sorry, Jen. I'm sorry I even brought this up. That was on me. But I guess my point is, like, yes, I love these stories. And I wonder if it inspires people to try to do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Thinking that they're going to get, like, a New York Times best-selling book offer.
Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, I guess the offer isn't best-selling. The book has to best-sell to become a bestseller, but whatever. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe that's just me being a curmudgeon. Forget I said anything about that. Okay, number 1. She says, if you haven't already, pick 1 or 2 causes that have real meaning to you and give to them every month. So give consistently. Even if it's $5 a month. Number 2, give one of your favorite things in the world away to someone who would totally love it. And if you can, do it without them knowing where it came from. I've never considered doing something like that. something that's one of my favorite things in the world.
I know, that's kind of crazy. You know, it reminds
What
me
if they
of,
just don't like it that much?
have you seen that episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm when Larry David, he donates to this, what is it, some charity, and Ted Danson donates as well, but he donates anonymously, but everyone knows that it was Ted Danson, and they're just praising him for doing it anonymously. Because
I don't remember that.
It's
How did the
so
word get out
funny.
that Ted Danson was the...
It's just like going
donor.
around. It's like kind of going around their friend group that it was Ted Danson.
And
who
Larry
made
did
this-
the same thing, but because they knew...
But it has his name on it. Yeah,
Yeah.
like donated by Larry David. Another one is donated by Anonymous.
That's too funny. I'll have to check that one out if I can find it. Aren't there a million episodes?
There's a
now?
lot of episodes, yeah.
Okay, number 3. Leave $1 more than you normally would every time you tip, or 10. I have to say that it's nice being able to tip 20%. When I was, 10, 15, 20 years ago, it was like painful just to do what was 10% back there. It was kind of more standard.
Yeah.
So I think that we can also be understanding for young people and people in situations where things are tight when they tip less. But
Yeah, for sure.
But I try to tip more generously now that I'm older. Number 4, if someone is being snarky, instead of sinking to their level and being snarky back, raise them up by giving the love. Oh, giving them love. Oh, giving them the love. Sorry. I ran those two words together. I think that is an example of what Jesus taught, which is to turn the other cheek.
Yeah.
And I know that's been interpreted by different people different ways, but, I just think that, yes, taking the higher ground is a good idea. Does it work in the political world? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't work. I wish it would. 5, smile, compliment, and crack people up as often as possible. Okay. 6, I just imagine myself
What?
trying too hard to be like a comedian.
Everywhere
I go.
Has anything ever stopped you from trying to do that before?
Has anything ever stopped? No, well, it's not like I'm trying to crack people up as soon as they walk in the door. Like I've got jokes locked and loaded for these people. What are you saying, Maegan?
He always tries to be a comedian. Always. Without a shadow of a doubt.
Gosh. What's that part in like the first episode of The Office? When he says
I'm an entertainer first. My dad always says this too. He doesn't actually he hasn't actually forgotten this.
Does he? He says I'm an entertainer first.
Yeah.
Or when does he say second?
I'm an entertainer first. What is
See,
it?
we've both forgotten.
There's a
it.
boss somewhere.
You
in
think
there.
I haven't forgotten?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Crack people up as often as possible. Okay. The next one: say yes to invitations you wouldn't normally say yes to, because you hate to inconvenience the other person offering. Take them up on it. Give them the opportunity to give to you. Like a bike.
Yeah. This is actually something so interesting that I hear all the time, is to let yourself, in addition to giving things, let yourself receive things. Like if someone's giving you something, like let yourself receive it. I don't really know. It's just like an energy thing or something, like an energetic thing.
Yeah, so I was raised to be independent, right? Like that was the ideal that I was raised on. You need to be self-sufficient. You need to take care of yourself. I think my dad tried to instill that in me. And yet, I think when push came to shove, he's a bit of a softie. When I was getting on a Greyhound bus to travel to New Jersey to study with an artist back there, and I just had whatever was in my tiny bank account, and I was getting on the bus. He slipped me, I don't know, $100 or something.
Your dad?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
So, and I mean, he helped us get into our first house and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
Even though he was kind of staunchly against the government being a safety net, I think he believes, I mean, he's still alive and we could ask him, but he believes that family can be a good safety net. Certainly, I think he thinks church is a good safety net, but is kind of against the idea of government being a safety net. But also, I think in many ways I felt guilty about accepting help. And then I married into the Tolk family, and it seemed like help was more was offered more freely or encouraged. And yeah, I mean, I think help is good. Like, none of us is an island.
Yeah.
We're all driving on roads that we all pitched in with taxes, you know. We're calling on networks that, yes, many of them were private, but a lot of these things are private-public partnerships. And so why not accept help?
Yeah,
right?
for
Now,
sure.
sometimes help is given not on a grants economy, which means it's freely given, but it's on a market economy. So if I give you this, I'm going to expect you to give me something later down the road. And you may not want to get indebted to that person, right?
Yeah.
So that's a little bit different. But when something's given, I think it's okay to say yes. All right, there was a little soapbox. Okay, number 7, stop and feel in your body how great it feels when you give and receive. Raise your frequency and expect more good things to come your way. I can fully get behind the first sentence and the second sentence. You know, maybe a little bit woo-woo for me, but the principle stands. Let your body just feel how good, you know, the goodness of giving and receiving.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
like
that
everything.
chapter. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I like the everything on the list. I think it's a good list for sure.
Okay. Yeah, give and let give is chapter 13. And with that, I think we can wind down this episode. Anything that we need to mention as we close up?
Not that I can think of. Is there anything else you want to mention?
Advertise with us, $12. Rate, review, subscribe. Add the Instagram account.
The self-help hangover.
And if you're feeling really into us, you can subscribe to our Patreon in our link tree.
Yes.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time.